The Annapurna Himals in Nepal are home to 120,000 subsistence farmers. The absence of roads in this culturally rich and scenic area has made the Annapurnas one of the most popular trekking destinations in the world. But highways reaching into this pristine region threaten a vulnerable way of life and an ecologically fragile environment. In the 1950s, all traditional communal land in Nepal was nationalized by the government. When the Annapurnas were made into a conservation area in 1986, this decision was reversed, and jurisdiction of the Annapurnas was returned to local villagers. Here, within sight of the Tibetan border, is a more authentic Tibetan culture than exists in Chinese-occupied Tibet. Unlike other Nepalese national parks, where the local residents were expelled, the Annapurna Conservation Area has encouraged local villagers to remain. 20 years later, the Annapurnas are held up internationally as a model of sustainable community development. Taking advantage of increased economic opportunities, younger generations have returned to their ancestral roots to cater to Western trekkers. This grassroots tourism has provided a much-needed additional source of income in these simple homes and tea houses. Trained as an international economist, my first 6 visits to Nepal were to monitor Canadian-funded projects in restricted and remote areas. I've been returning to Nepal almost annually now for 20 years, since the Annapurna Conservation Area handed responsibility for the environment back to the villagers. I have witnessed how this strategy has curtailed illegal logging and poaching of wildlife. This extraordinary valley, predating the Himalayas, is a unique biogeographical divide, marking the limits of distribution of several European and Asiatic species of plant and bird life. The intrinsic spirituality of this rugged realm of reincarnation is celebrated in numerous Buddhist prayer walls lining the paths. For 3,000 years, holy men from India have made pilgrimage on foot to witness flames burning out of the earth, stone and water in the temples of Muktanath, one of the holiest of sites for both Hindus and Buddhists. Recently, I made my own pilgrimage around the Annapurnas, walking over 100 miles for 6 weeks through the Himalayas to the Tibetan Plateau and back again. Staying in local homes and crossing an 18,000-foot path, I used a video camera for the very first time to try and capture a unique culture that has remained unchanged for centuries.
Ah! 1, 2, 3. My camera just fell over and seemed to be completely broken. Its innards seem to have fallen out. And I've just patched it up with some tape. And amazingly, it actually seems to be able to work.
My first travelogue, published in 1997, was based on months spent traveling amongst the people of the Annapurnas. I returned to photograph the area and its inhabitants for my first photographic book. Now, in the middle of winter, I once again walked along these ancient trails to record a way of life that will soon be gone. The Kali Gandaki River Valley, the deepest canyon in the world with two 8,000-meter peaks towering on either side, has served for centuries as a natural pathway between Central Asia and the Indian subcontinent. Until recently, these remote fortress villages have remained relatively untouched by the outside world. Over the last 2 decades, many of these villagers have become friends.
So you have one child already?
Yes.
Fast work.
Yes.
So where's your baby?
Upstairs.
Upstairs. Oh, good. You're happy, aren't you?
Yes.
And your wife, she's at Eklabati?
No, she's upstairs.
She's upstairs as well. Oh! And the baby! Whoa! What is her name again?
Chetan Choki.
Chetan Choki, and that means?
That means Chetan means long life,
Long life
Choki and good education.
and good education. Chetan Choki.
The name put by
The
Lama.